Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today I want to do a reading vlog of The House of the Cerulean Sea. I'm currently on what page am I on? 148, and I'm enjoying this book a lot. Basically, we follow around a character named Linus Baker, who is a caseworker that works for the department in charge of magical youth. And he is someone who has always followed the rules, who has his set routine, who is very to himself. And one day he's called to higher management. And because of how factual he is in his notes when writing cases, they sent him off on a classified mission to go to this island to meet these other youth who are deemed as dangerous. They're basically misfits and all this stuff, but the thing is they don't give him any information, so all they say is like, classified mission, you'll get files on the youth, on the place there, and you're going to be there for a month. So he arrives to this island, and he is first like amazed by the ocean and the surroundings because he's never seen the ocean before. But then he gets to the orphanage and he becomes very skeptical and scared because of who these youth are. These youth are different magical beings, such as sprites, wyverns, gnomes, and more. One of them, who he's currently super afraid of, is Lucy, who is 6 years old, and he is rumored to be the son of the devil. And what the goal is that Linus stays there for a month, but he has to observe the kids and the master of the house, basically to deem it safe. But I think there's also like an underlining tone towards it. I feel like the higher ups in management want to shut down this orphanage because the caretaker, Arthur, I'm about to say his name wrong, Paneris, he basically is a father figure to these 6 kids who are deemed as misfits and like unlovable, and people are scared of them and think they're monsters, and he just treats them well. He treats them like kids, and I just love him so much. There's so many quotes in here already. You can, like, I tabbed this book. I'm enjoying it so much, and yeah, I'm gonna read more of this, but I'm also gonna play some footage of my time at Carmel Beach. I went there last year, and the reason why I picked this book up is because of my best friend, and she was like, oh, this place reminds me of this book. So I'll have some footage of that, read some more, and then chat with you when I'm about like here to give you an update.
My appetite, don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
Okay, so it's much more later, and I'm almost done with House of the Cerulean Sea. I am 60% of the way on chapter 13, and I love this book. I love this book so much. The kids are so smart and perceptive and observant, and they care for each other so much. It's very much of found family trope, and they're very protective of each other. And I just think they're so adorable. They're so adorable. I also love Arthur. He's so protective of them, and you could tell he wants the best for them. Like, he has the best intentions for these kids. And I think he is scared to take them to the island because they're very isolated from society, because how society views them. Right, when Linus goes to the island, where all the other people are, they're very much like whispering and talking about how evil the kids are, even though they don't know the kids, and it's all like rumors, and they're saying like every time somebody steps foot on their island, someone disappears. But Linus is getting very protective of the kids now, and he's talking back towards the mail carrier because he's like, you don't know these kids like that, don't be saying like that stuff about them. And I think him and Arthur are about to form a little romance. And there's some blue tabs in here. So I did cry. I didn't cry, but I did tear up a little bit because one of the younger kids, Sal, he's very to himself. He doesn't talk to anybody. And he's now like slowly opening up and slowly trying to trust Linus. And he's just so precious. He also is big into writing, and one of the poems he written I really enjoyed, because they have like this I don't want to call it like a talent show, but basically Arthur lets the kids tell whatever story they want so they could practice public speaking. And this is what Sal's poem says. It says, "I am but paper, brittle and thin. I am held up to the sun, and it shines right through me. I am written on, and I can never be used again. These scratches are history. They are a story. They tell things for others to read, but they only see the words, and not what the words are written upon. I am but paper, and though there are many like me, none are exactly the same. I am parched parchment. I have lines, I have holes. Get me wet and I melt. Light me on fire and I burn. Take me in hardened hands and I crumble. I tear. I am paper, brittle and thin." It's so good. I'm about to cry because he's so sensitive. He's so caring, and he's just a little boy. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm also finding a lot of this book relates to my life in a lot of ways. But right now, especially during like the case manager sections, I'm currently in a course to become a peer support specialist, and a lot of the, we'll call it advice or words that Arthur is telling Linus is right alongside of how they want us peer support specialists to address youth. And it's not to be like Linus is supposed to be someone who is very, not cold, but the rules and regulations are like, you can't be friends with the youth and you need to be like detached. But it's like, how can you remain detached and try to earn trust with somebody? So I'm having a great time. This is also written very well. So I'm gonna read the last section, which I feel like something, I don't want to say something bad's gonna happen, but the higher ups are very much into, I feel like they're trying to get dirt on Arthur. So I'm curious to know what's gonna happen in the last 100 pages. But I think I'm gonna play you the audiobook over some ocean stuff, and then I'll talk to you when I'm done.
Hallway was as it always was. Okay, old boy, he muttered to himself. You can do this. The doors stayed closed as he passed them by, though lights flickered behind them, illuminating the floor in quick bursts. The music was louder as he approached the door at the end, and it was as if every record ever made was being played at the same time, a screeching cacophony of sound that caused Linus's teeth to rattle in their sockets. He had a ridiculous notion of knocking as he reached the last door, but shook his head. He took a deep breath as he put his hand on the knob and twisted it. The music died as the door opened. Linus thought he caught a flash of orange light out of the corner of his eye, but it faded before he could figure out where it had come from. Lucy's bedroom door was wide open, hanging slightly off its hinges. Lucy himself stood in the center of the room, hands outstretched away from him like wings, digits straining. The records that had adorned his walls circled around him slowly. Some had cracked and splintered. His head had fallen back and his eyes were open, but they were blank and unseeing. His mouth was open, and the cords stuck out from his neck. Arthur was kneeling before him, a hand cupped around the back of Lucy's neck. He glanced at Linus, eyes widening slightly before he turned back to Lucy. He began to whisper something that Linus couldn't quite make out, but the tone was soft and soothing. He squeezed Lucy's neck slightly. Linus took a step closer. And I know you're scared, Arthur was saying. And I know sometimes you see things when you close your eyes that no one should ever see. But there is good in you, Lucifer, overwhelmingly so. I know there is. You are special. You are important. Not just to the others, but to me. There has never been anyone like you before. And I see you for all that you are, and all the things you aren't. Come home. All I want you to do is come home. Lucy arched his back as if electrified. His mouth opened wider, almost impossibly so. That roaring sound came again, crawling out from his throat. It was dark and twisted, and Lucy's eyes flashed red, a deep and ancient thing that caused Linus's skin to crawl. But Arthur never let him go. Lucy relaxed, slumping forward. Arthur caught him. The sashes in the windows stopped fluttering. The records fell to the floor, some of them breaking into small pieces that scattered along the floor. Arthur? Lucy asked, voice breaking. Arthur, what happened? Where am... Oh, Arthur. I'm here, Arthur said, pulling him into a hug. Lucy buried his face in Arthur's neck and began to sob, his little body shaking. I'm here. It was so bad, Lucy cried. I was lost, and there were spiders. I couldn't find you. Their webs were so big, and I was lost. But you did find me, Arthur said lightly, because you're here. And Mr. Baker is here too. He is? Lucy sniffled. He turned his face to look over toward the door. His face was blotchy and streaked with tears. Hello, Mr. Baker. I'm sorry if I woke you. I didn't mean to. Linus shook his head, struggling to find the right words. No need for apologies, dear boy. I'm a light sleeper as is. He was anything but. His mother always said a stampede of wild horses wouldn't be able to wake him. I'm just pleased you're all right. That's the most important thing of all. Lucy nodded. I get bad dreams sometimes. I do too. You do? Linus shrugged. It's part of being alive, I think. But even if you have bad dreams, you must remember they're only that. Dreams. You'll always wake from them, and they will fade eventually. I found that waking from a bad dream brings a sense of relief, unlike anything else in the world. It means what you were seeing wasn't real.
It is currently 12:57 a.m. and I have finished House of the Cerulean Sea. There are so many tabs. There's so many tabs in this book. 5 stars. I've enjoyed this so much, and I kind of want to reread it right now. The kids are so precious. They're just so precious. They just want to be loved. They just want to have fun. They just want to have a family. And that's what this is. Very found family. And Linus gets to partake in also finding his own family as well. Even though he's like in his 40s, it's the first time he's ever found a place where he feels like he belongs. And it's so good. I'm gonna call it a night. I am tired, but I highly recommend this book. I know I didn't really talk much about it, but I think you should just read it. It's just that. Thanks for being here, and I will talk to you in another video.